used to
Check
have
out how
a
sharp this thing is.
intercom. So
It's for studying,
so
but
Mom would pipe that on. She'd have it on
yeah.
at 7 o'clock. It's time to get up.
Like,
that was the vibe, and they were good songs. They were meant for people to be happy, you know.
So
those kind of songs, and they were writing them, you know, during a wartime period where, you know, a lot was going on in the country that we had to fight for democracy. I was the last of 26 grandchildren.
This is how sharp it
I
is.
was about 5. Cancer took him at 7. When I was 7, he was 47, and lived a great life. And you know, something like that tragically happened at such an early age. And then they would always send me to my grandmother's house. She had the old house in Fort Worth, which is about 200 miles from where we were living in De Leon, Texas. A little small peanut town, about maybe 600-700 people there. I played tuba, of all things. Like, I was in church choirs and the Boy Scouts, which is very helpful.
Like, this could be an actual weapon if you wanted it to be.
But the camaraderie of just, that's also part of the process for learning music. You know, my mother got me into that very early, you know, probably before we left the small town. I was always going to a relative or whatever. They didn't want, my mother didn't want me to see Dad going, right? And so I don't really have that fond memory of any of that bad shit. But the fondest memory I do is that my grandmother, in 1921,
Hold on,
almost 100 years ago, she was playing piano for the silent movies back in the day. She had a band. Stand-up bass player was her brother. They played behind Chicken Market. They got fucking crazy if you're in the county line back in Texas in 1921, right after the oil boom. And
there's a leather jacket right here, right?
Well, except for maybe 2 in Fort Worth. It was kind of a hub. So they would stick me with Granny, and she had this upright piano.
And
like this,
it has to be sharp in order to penetrate leather and stuff like that.
Things out, some elbow
So that's why it's so sharp.
I would always grab her hand.
But dang, this could be like used as a weapon if I wanted
get
to.
on it and just play every Scott Joplin track you ever. I mean, now I know, but I didn't know.
Imagine that going through your neck. That would have hurt a lot.
I wore that woman out because I was always there, you know, 24/7 for a year and a half until Dad, you know, I finally went back on. For her to be 70 years older than I was, and us to have that connection on that level, music had already been instilled in me. Somehow, I think that my lineage comes directly from Myrtle Carlisle, was her name. I think that my first, probably, that hit me on the head about 6 or 7 was Rock Around the Clock and Bill Haley. Maybe, probably something like that. I mean, my sister had it all. Like, kind of, I would notice kind of gradually, here comes, well, she kind of got tired of these records, right? So here comes the, you know, everybody had the Beatles' first 3 records, you know. I don't think anybody got Revolver, which is my favorite Beatles record. All we had was AM radio.
This is sharp. It starts out thin and it thickens so it can put the screw in. So
9 or 10 years old. And finally something had come on the radio and just grabbed my attention. And it was Tush.
Slides in like butter.
Little man from Texas.
That's what she said.
You know, bigger than life in Texas. When I heard that track, man, it just sent a spark up my spine. I was like, this just combined everything of what I've just known in the last 9, 10 years of my life. Do you remember the first band that you played in where you all 4 plugged in the same amp? If you know that question, then you know that you're a lifer. And once you have that feel and you're starting to play with other guys instead of just playing by yourself to records and learning everything that you can from, I knew from that minute, okay, can I get good enough to do it, number one? It goes back to how many guitar players, you know, that are around, too many. Some that are a lot better than me, but I've always been a rhythm player on anything I've ever picked up. Be it piano to bass to guitar. I got that from my grandma, you know. She did it well and beautifully, but it's those little, you know, I remember the nooks and crannies where she missed a note, but it was cool, man. because she would just make up for it, like you never heard. That's rocking. I think for me, the groove, and I didn't know this cat's name, but he played on every Motown record that ever was made, and it was James Jammers. I didn't know his actual name then, but that pocket that he laid and what he did, I mean, he listened to Marvin Gaye, What's Going On record, man. I mean, it's insane. You know, I was a big Kiss fan, dude. I mean, you know, all of us in the 90s that were, you know, that you have us on these shows and stuff. You know, Kiss was a big, huge part. Take away the paint and glitter and you listen to those first two records, it's solid rock and roll, you know? But they were just bigger than life, you know? The Who came in at the end of those records for my sister. I would say that John Entwistle, you know, Can't Explain, to the tone he had, what he did, he didn't give a shit, you know? I mean, that's rock. So I was trying to get in the drum line in 7th grade, and I was like, my birth date ended right to, like, I was always a year younger than the other kids, just how it worked. And they said, well, we know, but we need some tuba players. No, yeah. Dude, I weighed about 80 pounds. And trying to pick one of these things up, you know, that's another story altogether. The tuba, but I went on to be all-state every year. I started at the beginner class. 2 months, I was in the intermediate class. 3 months, I was the head chair. So something was happening. So they wanted me to play guitar. So every chord and every downbeat with the Chet Atkins fucking chord for the flat. Nobody does that. You know, they couldn't find a kid anywhere to do that. So that's when I picked up the bass. So I said, oh, man, it's got to be easy. And dude, they had these like 1972, 73 Fender Jazz Precisions, and they would let me take them home. And they had the cool amps and stuff, and like the band director was just, you know, I'm always been one of those kind of cats, man. If you look somebody in the eye, just tell them the truth. That's who you are, right? But there's no pretension. So I said, you mind if I borrow it? Can I take the bass? You know, I really like to learn over the weekend. He goes, yeah, you've done so well with the tuba, you know, no problem. So I got kind of sneaky in about the 9th grade. I would leave the door, they had a window that we could open up and kind of borrow some amps for the weekend. And he found out about it. And actually, he pulled me in the office and because you've been taking the amps back, they look fine. There's nothing wrong. There's no scuffs or anything. I said, dude, I was going to tell you, but, you know, just impromptu.